Hello everyone, and welcome back to my RP-0 playthrough using Race into Space. And in the last episode, I hit a bug, which I have not yet had a chance to deal with because I didn't really have time last night. So we're not going to try to do any lifting reentries today, that's for sure. Not that we were going to anyway. We have, I think, a ComSat to launch. Yes, we have a ComSat to launch. And we had Eagle 4 as a backup, which I think we can now get rid of. We don't actually need to fly any more Eagle missions, or at least Eagle Block 2. We're going to fly an Eagle Block 3 once we get This is a toughie. We don't have any unspent upgrades. Okay. Because I want to get docking before anybody else gets docking. But I also want to fly the first lunar flyby before anybody else does. And I might have to accept the tragic loss of the docking first in order to do a first lunar flyby. Especially because the first reward for it is literally twice as much. So dems to brakes. Don't know. Let's see. Sorry about the dings. What are we gonna do? So we have 70 days until we have 12 days until we have a Venus encounter. We have this Mars mission coming up, but we probably won't have the antenna tech to allow it. I don't think I have the Delta V for a Mercury mission without a Venus flyby, without Hydrolox. And I'm not going to get Hydrolox for a little bit. Now the question is, can I push... Could I push 2 tons, say 2.5 tons TLI? Basically, the question I'm asking myself is, could I manage to do a lunar flyby without Hydrolox engines? I think dates. All right. I think that we'll be running Hydrolox tests still by the time we get flight control. So I don't think I want to actually change the unlock order at this point. So let's go ahead and just fly that ComSat mission and be done with it. Here's this sitting here tempting me. I really want to commit to it in 2 years. I don't know. Oh, I also have to launch something geostationary. What do I have active? First comm satellite. Is there any other stuff we could check up? Oh, that's trivial. We can do that. A perigee above 300 kilometers and an eccentricity below. So that's fine. We'll do that together with the other thing. All right, Pap, yes, I say only nice things about Agathorn in the hopes that he will not destroy my progress. So also, Pap, good that you're here because I'm basically figuring out ways to cheat your contracts. Because if I launch to a 45-degree inclination and I go to perform a GTO burn, it requires a higher insertion burn. It will cost another 300-400 meters per second to insert, but it means I will complete this contract and this contract and this contract all at the same time, which seems a pretty good deal. However, given how close we are to completing the bug and the sunk cost involved, I think I will just launch it and complete these two, and then launch an actual ComSat for geostationary, which I think we'll go ahead and build now. So let's do that. And we might as well test out, we might as well use it to test the Agena. So what are my electricity options? Pitiful. I really should put some entry cost modifiers on these things. How many watts is this anyway? 156 watts. Great. Comms. So non-RP-0, non-RP-0. All right. So we need to oh, that's that reflectron. That's the old model. Yeah, so hopefully we'll patch this thing at some point. Let's put in a PS1 antenna. What was its range? 2 megameters, 4 megameters. Oh, but that doesn't even snap. So we're going to use this dish because it has a nice high cone. And we definitely don't need that much electric charge. I would say 2 kilowatt hours is sufficient. It's Proc tank. Gold. Oops, 4. We want that. Hydrazine. We can't do better than hydrazine still. I mean, I could get K via B, but that's insanely expensive and really not worth it. Oh. Actually, it's plausible. Now I'm thinking. Pap, yes, you're absolutely right that we do need to add different kinds of probes, or at least have instrument requirements that mass enough that you can't just put all the instruments on. Our Spark EC says today's a building episode. Will launch tomorrow. I still think we're going to launch Bug 4 today. This will not be a very long build. I'm sorry that my Steam is burping. Service module. Here we go. We're still in TL1 hydrazine. How much is? Oh, you can't even unlock KVB yet. Wonder when does that unlock? Heavy orbital rocketry. Oh, interesting. All right, so the plot I was just plotting, I can no longer plot. Anyway, so that's half the delta V required for GTO insertion. But we're about to decrease it because we're about to put the super heavy solar panels on it, which I already have one of. That dish is 50 watts, isn't it? What is it? 50 watts, yes. And that's only 25 watts. All right, so if it's only 50 watts, then yeah, we'll just use these. We'll just put 2 of these on here. Okay. Let's move them down. Seems fine. RCS. We only need the little baby RCS. Now, the other thing might be we might want to not even bother to use that thing, that engine. Yeah, I think we want some little thrusters here. Let's use 2 of these. All right. Yeah, that will appreciably increase our delta V. And hydrazine TL1. Okay. Bug 5. Yes, Pap, actually speaking of those contractual requirements, I was supposed to loop you into a PM conversation yesterday and I forgot, so I did it today. So check the forum because it's relevant to what we were just discussing. Okay. So this is a fine little satellite. Let's put oh, it got moved to coupling, didn't it? Yes, it did. Oh, son of a gun, I forgot to do a pull before this. So I don't have the fix for the oh, right. Also, I forgot about this. Now we need to lower our length slightly. 199. Right. What's our dry mass? 123. Time to break out the old calculator. 199 over 123. Mass ratio of 1.61. Take the natural log times 9.80665 times 198 is 934 meters per second. Not bad. All right, so we need a kilometer per second on top of that. Chicken swag, that's literally already been done. It's in a pull request that I accepted the other day, and like I said, I didn't pull, so I don't have it yet. Okay. 216. That's not a lot of delta V. Let's try 3 of these. 565. Great. So we need multiple stages of baby sergeants. This is going to be obnoxious. Oh, are they on the... Which configuration are they on, anyway? Wrong configuration. That helps a little bit. Let's try 8 of you people. Whoops. Come on. There we go. That's gonna, okay, very well. Oh, I should check the delta V before I did that. But I'm gonna have to do it like this. Okay. Okay, move y'all down. Okay, and then put that there and move this thing down. Now they all fit inside quite neatly. Although, that is a bit of a... I guess we should do 9. That looks about right. Let's try 9. Okay. And, oh, I did that quite wrongly. Yes, I did. It needs to be on this side for it to be correct. There we go. That's better. Yep, that's pretty good. So they'll miss each other. And how is our delta V? These fellers go here. All right, and we can finish the burn on internal. We'll have about 200 meters per second extra. Did anything other than Explorer use stacked solids like this? I don't believe so. Because of the chance of failure. As experienced on a number of Juno 1 and Juno 2 missions where the bucket failed. There is a fairly high chance of failure for this. Despite the fact that we have over 10,000 flight data, which is confusing to me. And Agathon might want to look into why that's happening. Right, let's move you all out slightly. Where's the... There we are. That's better. And now move you all up so that you are right about right for the bucket. Oh, there's not far enough out yet. Whoops. Oh, geez, that was wrong. All right. Now we're tossing a little over half a ton. Our Sparky C says they literally tried to do this in the 50s and it didn't go well. So hopefully we'll have better luck, given that we are doing this in the 50s. But anywho, this is bug 5. Now I think we should put a traditional beagle under it. Oh, right, we were going to do the Agena, weren't we? Yeah, so where's Firebug? I think we want this. No, this is the wrong Firebug. This is the small Firebug. Well, we'll just get the upper from this. And it will be fine. Oops. Oh boy. That's a forest of things. Why did my symmetry just go wild? I thought I was down to 1x symmetry. Okay, let's try this again. You should go here. Nope, you should not go here. All right, we're just going to move these out of the way. And then we can move them back later once we've attached this. Why is this still not far enough out? All right, that will do. Okay. So let us prepare Agena B, for which we're going to use Delta Avionics, because, yeah. XLR81. Select mount. Our choice is no mount. Okay. Man, it's amazing the difference that pretty engines makes. Ugh, I didn't put roll control on this stage? Really? Oh, I guess I was cheaping out. Whatevs. Yeah, I'm going to find the one that has roll control. Because I don't want to remake the roll control. Probably like Selene 4 or something. I think we want that for the launch vehicle too. Oh, but that's the... No, that's the wrong one. Man, I should use sub-assemblies, but I've been getting used to the merge. Blowfish, how do you get 3-axis control plus ullage with only 4 thrusters? because I'm not seeing it. But that's probably just because I'm missing something obvious. Yeah, that has the full shebang. Okay. You come here. Oh, if you angle them. If you angle them outwards at 45 degrees, yeah, okay. Well, I'll use this setup because I like having a sane amount of oops. Dang, now we're no longer centered. Whatever. Let's replace the engine again. And this needs to be in the B configuration. $8 million, and we're going to R&D it, that's for sure. Almost 100 data a day. Let's... Yeah, okay. We'll choose the cheap rate. That is a hydrazine tank. Yes, 9 liters, that's enough. Pretty sure that's going to be enough to, especially because this stage at burnout will be so much lighter than the other one, like ridiculously lighter. Whoops, that tube is still, all right, that's fair. Now, let's remove these propellants, and man, do I want default or do I want balloon? I think I want default. We're not going to be quite as aggressive as, so the Agena BD was not balloon, but it was gobsmackingly light. All right, we want, so that we have precisely half the propellant we should have. Why are, oh. These are totes in the wrong stage. All right. No, actually we don't want to, we want to do that. Okay. The early XLR80 ones did require ullage. The later ones don't. That's why Agena had a secondary propulsion. Well, no, sorry. Agena had a secondary propulsion system for a different reason. But if you look at, actually, that's a great question. Whether B, I know A did, because if you look at the Agena A stage, it has ullage motors. But if you look at an Agena B, yeah, ullage to ignitions. Okay, that's what I thought. So we're slightly narrow. Oh no, this is 1.5 meters, so we're actually the right diameter. That's too long. All right, 4-minute burn time on this puppy. Now, the delta V is quite good. We want, 2450. Well, let's give it a little extra. Let's say 2480. 36. So we have 2556 to spare to use on top of anything below us. So we should be able to get by with a Beagle. All right, this doesn't need to be quite that high. That's better. All right. So this is going to be the first test of the, what am I calling this stage? Let me find out what I'm calling the stage. Where's the list of cats? Cats. Bengal. The Bengal. Okay. Oh, you said the top tank is still service module. Did I not fix that? Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I missed that. Default and default. All right, and now our delta V is worse. That confuses me. Oh, because I changed staging, maybe? I don't know. Well, oh, because the fairings are stepping in the wrong stage. That's why. All right, now it's comfortably better. Okay. Thank you, Ash. That was super helpful. Okay, so now let's put a rocket under it. Where's Celine? What's a relevant thing to use? Maybe was it the first firebug? Or did that have a narrow? Yeah, okay, this was the right thing to pull. Good. I'm glad. Heh. Yeah, no, you're not having a shroud. Goodbye, shroud. Thank you. Going to assume our staging is quite messed up. Why are these things getting highlighted? Weird. Yeah, our staging is quite screwy. SAP. Oh, no, I'll legend SAP. That and the 101 and the 105 go here. The RCS goes here. Then that goes here, and these go here. All right, I think staging is correct now. Yeah, so let's fix this. First, that's way up in the air. Let's fix that. Okay. Come on. There we go. Nope. Come on. There we go. Extra height. Is that overlapping or is that a gap? That's overlapping. Good. Okay. Man, our liftoff thrust weight ratio is bad. Bad, bad, bad. Well, I guess after all that, we do need the Bulldog. The Beagle is not a sufficient launch vehicle for this thing. Well, well. No, it just barely is. Shocking. Shocking, shocking, shocking. It's just barely going to make it. It's got a ridiculously low, well, not ridiculously low, but quite a low lift-off thrust-to-weight ratio. Lower than I am comfortable with, that's for sure. But it'll do. It will do. And it's mostly because we don't have basic solids yet, so I can't put an Altair on there. Yeah, Sound and Fury would be horrified at this lift-off thrust-to-weight ratio. Truly horrified. But, hey, it's cheaper than doubling the number of first-stage engines, that's for sure. Yeah, could we I mean, like, technically, I could just underload this first stage by a bit. And that doesn't even decrease our delta V that much. It decreased it by 100 meters per second. We would totally gain that back from decreased, no, almost 200. All right. 200 meters per second we would not gain back from lowered gravity losses. So we'll roll with this. In terms of what we could do to make it better, we could strap on some A4 boosters. We could strap on. There's no point in strapping on anything expensive because, like, at that point we might as well just use a Bluedog. Point of fact, actually, I'm going to go ahead and oops, wrong thing. Wrong thing. Subassemblies. I think I'm going to go ahead and save this shebang as a beagle. No, I'll do it on my own time because I have to do some tricks to get that to work right when staging. So yeah, we'll go ahead and save this for now. I call myself satisfied with this. Yeah, it's like Saturn V level lift-off thrust-weight ratio, but that's fine. Equivalent to, I think, some of the early Falcon 9s were about that, because, hey, propellant is cheaper than more engine. All right. So Bug 5 will be done in 40 days. I think that means I have to step up my Agena research, actually. Well, XLR81 research. Blowfish, yeah, I assume that was done with, I think you're right, that was done with engine uprating in mind. All right, let's go with this team, because we have, yeah, that's fine. All right, so when is what unlocking? General construction will unlock soon. So I think the next episode we're going to worry about sending that lunar lander mission, and I have to decide whether I want to combine it with a lunar sample return or not. Because the problem is I have a lot of stuff I want to chuck at the moon. I want to chuck a film camera that I'll launch into polar orbit. I need to do a landing, and we might even consider doing a sample return. And the reason for the sample return is because we need to return the film camera stuff anyway, so we're going to have to return. So what if... Yeah, we would need docking for it. And that would argue for putting docking above better engines. I don't know. Might just do a regular landing mission and a film return mission to the moon, which we would do on our own dime. There's no contract that would pay for that at this point. So, okay. Go ahead and launch Bug 4. Now, if memory serves, we have to launch to 36 degrees or higher with a perigee higher than 300 kilometers and a low eccentricity for the weather satellite, and then 850 by 4500 for the comms satellite. All right, so I have learned my lesson. Save things in case we get bugs. Let's go ahead and do this. Yep, Ash is correct. Right now, the only first stage engines I have unlocked, other than the A4, are LR79s. I'm about to get H1s, and I'm just going to move straight to them rather than upgrading the LR79s. Right. How is this thing going to fly? It's... All right, hopefully we'll have enough electricity that this will not be a problem. This is kind of a fast mover. Not by Sound and Fury standards, but by mine. I think we want to do about like that, and we want to go at minus 40. Well, minus 36 is 37, just for some insurance. Okay. Let's see how it works. Cross your fingers. Convention under King, the difference between the 89 and the 79 is that the 89 gets more performance upgrades to it itself, but the LR79 has a better transition to the H1. You don't get quite as much back in entry cost savings moving to the H1 when you only have an LR89 unlocked. But beyond that, they're broadly similar engines. The 79 is also more reliable. The 89 is slightly less reliable, but like I said, it has those later performance upgrades. Basically, the deal is that the 79s were used on Thor and then Thor Delta and stuff, where they, and Thor Gina, where they use strap-on solids to increase liftoff thrust, and where they could just, extend the first stage and burn the thing longer. Whereas on Atlas, the only way they were getting first stage improvements was by increasing engine performance. So engine performance mattered much more, and they were for more demanding launches, so they weren't flying tons of them, so they were willing to go with slightly less reliability and trying to squeeze as much performance as they could out of them, rather than the sort of cheapo LR79s. in terms of icons, that sounds awesome. Blowfish, yeah, so basically this genealogy is that first North American Rocketdyne copied the A4's engine completely and totally. Then they immediately made one with a bunch of, obvious to the American team at least, improvements and got significant advantages. Then the Air Force started developing the Navajo cruise missile, which was a rocket boost ramjet cruise missile. This was before anybody thought that ICBMs were going to be a thing. And to do that, they had a bunch of phases. So phase 1 was the copy, phase 2 was the improvements. I think phase 3 of the engine study came to be known as the engine put on the Redstone, aka Jupiter C, aka Juno. The next phase was when they switched to first jet fuel and later pure kerosene, or the RP-1 formulation. And that is broadly equivalent to like the S3 or the LR-43 that was on the Atlas, or like the first block of them. And then we got to this engine, which is broadly equivalent to the LR-89, although the LR-89 and the LR-105 on Atlas, they would go back and forth on whether all three of them had a shared turbopump, or whether the boosters had one turbopump and the sustainer had another, or whether each engine had its own turbopump. But they're quite close in heritage, the 79, 89, and 105. And also often mated with the 101, which are those little verniers you can see, used both on Thor and on Atlas. Jupiter, used turbopump exhaust for roll control and small solids for velocity correction, and so it didn't actually have any verniers in the first stage. I did not make my turn shape correct. Okay, RCS to on, stage, and ignite that. Okay, let's pop our fairings. Looking good, guys. Aw, look at all the instruments it has for being an atmospheric analysis satellite. Oh well. We're going to pitch up slightly to extend time to apogee. So we need to raise apogee to 300 kilometers. Then we need to raise, or a little over, then we need to raise perigee to 300 kilometers, and then raise it up to 850, I think, or 900. And then we need to perform an apogee kick, which will raise our perigee to be a new apogee of 4,500. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of orbital maneuvers in this thing. The H1 was a radical to the extent of it's obviously the same engine, redesign and simplification of the LR 79, 89, 105 turbopump and engine assembly. Blowfish, I thought the MA2 actually had one turbopump, one central turbopump, but then they went back to discrete for MA3. Yeah, there's that, and there's also Alternate Wars' page on North American Rocketdyne engines is pretty good. And I think slightly more reliable than that, the B14643 page. That, sometimes we found that you can't tell what's actual information and what stuff he's back calculated from other information, and not necessarily correct. We've got some electric charge there. Down pitch. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. It just hasn't corrected our roll yet. Why is it so skittish about roll corrections? What's going on here? Why is the RCS not RCSing? Oh, right, this is the stage that... No, it does. So what's up with this? It's enabled. Specific impulse is correct. It's got hydrazine. So why isn't it firing any kind of RCS? Bugs. So we're going to go back to Space Center and then back out to this, and we'll figure out if that is enough to make the RCS activate. It may still think it's shielded for some reason. It's the sort of thing that it might do. Because we notionally have full roll control. All right, so we're going to end when we're just a little shy, a little over 300 kilometers. Well, close enough. Okay, back to Space Center, back to the craft. I could have just quick loaded, but I am not inclined to quick load. Oh, yeah, Bill just suggested I do that. I missed that in chat. Also, like, my impulse is to never do that because I'm used to playing with quick save and reverts off. Although when I hit a bug, I Alt F4 and manually, effectively quick load or revert. But anywho. Didn't want to risk it. Well, I guess it serializes and deserializes anyway, but like any plugin that's running Don't Destroy on Load would have to be, I think, recreated. All right, let's see if that fixed it. No. That's beyond odd. Looking at the RCS thruster, fore aft. Oh, okay. What's up with these RCS thrusters? Are they... They're set to yaw, pitch, roll, everything. Why are they not working? That... Oh! Because for some reason they got shoved inside that tank. Okay. Okay. But we can get around this. It will be more expensive in... RCS propellant, and we won't be able to spin our satellite up because of that issue. But it is what it is. I believe if we zero out everything, put on SAS so it kills our rotation, warp, go out of warp, then we should have killed rotation unless we don't need to spin stabilize. But we'll see. No, there are inputs over here. So now we can, yes, now we do have some control authority. It's very weak, but we'll be okay. So we need to circularize at apogee. 43 meters per second. Let's orient. I will also need to edit the geostationary thing, because it's probably affected by the same issue when we stretch that tank. Man, this RCS is almost as weak as real-life RCS. All right, let's execute that node. Yeah, Blowfish, you're right. I could do that, but that also, it's possible that it's just a. Yeah, no, it's a proc part thing. Okay. All right, let's make sure that we're ullaged. That's good. Oh. Pain. All right. So that completed that contract. Now let's go ahead and that's fine. Now we can go ahead and do the weather contract. The comm satellite contract. Right. So now we need to flip orientation and align for apogee kick. And we want to change. No. We'll just do that, and then we'll increase it until we get the desired. Oh, all right. Well, this comm satellite is going to be pretty high up in the sky because we have 1720 meters per second. We probably didn't need the kick motor, but whatever. We have a kick motor. Yeah, so the thing, what I was talking about real-life RCS, it's not that RO's RCS is in any way unrealistic, it's just the way we build crafts are unrealistic. For example, Atlas V Centaur, however you pronounce it. I always pronounce it Centaur, but has like, I don't know, about 150 newtons of RCS in each axis. Pap, I have not completed Molnier or Tundra contracts yet. They haven't unlocked yet. I could easily make this a I think I could have launched this as Molnia, but all right, so cross your fingers that we don't do something crazy with our... In fact, there's a way to avoid that possibility, actually, now that I think about it, and it's to burn this thing dry. Okay. Whoa, we're actually going to be aligned correctly for the solar panel, too. That's awesome. Wasn't expecting that. Chicken Swag, in real life, a sun-synchronous orbit uses differences in Earth's density and therefore its gravitational field to tweak the orbit every revolution such that it keeps it in line with the sun. That is the trick of a sun-synchronous orbit. Ugh, let's try that again. Convention Under King, it depends on whether I'm replicating Thor or Europa as a first stage. All right, let's see whether this works. Cross your fingers, everyone. Okay. Now, go. Yes, we stayed stable. All right. So now we have certainly completed that contract. And indeed, we have almost a Molnia orbit. Although we don't have enough antenna on this craft to be useful. I don't think I put any antennas on this craft because I wasn't intending to put it that high. Well, oh well. It works. We'll toss off that thing. Great. So, yeah, that's success. Now let's go examine the other thing. So Convention Under King, basically I have a 1 LR-79 launch vehicle, I have a 2 LR-79 launch vehicle, and I have a 3 LR-79 launch vehicle. The 2, sorry, not a 3, a 4. I went straight from 2 to 4. I was originally considering a 6 as like a mini Proton, but I only needed 4. 6 and 2 LR-105s would make a decent launch vehicle. Well, let's just examine, before we edit it, let's just look at it and see visually if it's okay. Excuse me. Survey says yes, so we don't have to worry about that. That's nice. I don't know why Bug 4 got so messed. Not a worry because... So, oh, while I'm here. Yeah, so Convention Under King, as you can see, this is a single LR-105 upper and 2 LR-79s. So this is basically what if Atlas had traditional staging rather than boosters and a sustainer in all one tank. This is basically equivalent to Titan 1, but using Atlas's engines. You know, a 2-minute 30-second lower stage, a 3-minute upper stage. Yeah, Bill, you totally should do streaming. It's a lot of fun. Audience is great. You'll get a lot more people, I think, because you actually play regular Kerbal, whereas I only play this weird RO stuff. Well, the rest of you weirdos. So yeah, here's the 4-engine version. So 4 of those, and then a longer burning, almost 4.5-minute upper stage, although it still only has 1 engine, and then room for a 3rd stage. Convention Under King, the engine you were looking for is the E1. That is effectively 2 of these LR-79s. Although you'll never only unless it's like an A4 or an RD100 series or an NA75, you're always going to want more than one engine on the first stage, even if the rest are verniers, because you want roll control on the first stage. You never ever want to have a first stage that doesn't have some form of roll control. Right. So, oh, it's not even 8 o'clock. We might as well launch geostationary then. Let me see what contracts have unlocked. Man, Michelle is right. He does sound like he's saying Aflac. There, now we have Molnia. So, communication test satellite. First Molnia satellite. Early comm network. Low and medium. Early weather satellite. Okay. And the regular orbital flights. Now, oh, I could have gotten a sounding rocket contract with that. Gotten another $1,000,000 funds. Dollars. 1,000 funds, $1 million. What does this require? That inclination is not going to cut it. So we could take advantage of this contract and just launch 4 geostationary satellites, but I really don't have the VAB capacity to do it because they each take 40 days to build, and we're going to need to clear the decks for more milestones. I have until 1956 to do this. So, oh, our SparkEC, the problem isn't launch sites. The problem is build rates. And until I get the VAB upgraded, it's going to cost the same to increase my build rate here or anywhere else. Because I think yeah, it's possible that you do get free points still at other sites. I don't remember. I know you don't get science free points, but you might still get the basic upgrade points. But yeah, once the VAB unlocks, then I can quickly double my build rate. I also have a second pad that should be done soon. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take this. Only have 3 active contracts, so might as well. It gives me another over $100 million. Gives me a lot of money on completion. Some rep. Because I'm already going to launch 1 geostationary satellite, I might as well launch 2 more and get oodles of money. That always sounds good. Let's do that. Just make sure I didn't get a pig in a poke. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Never done one of these before. We'll see how it goes. If this geostationary satellite completes fine, we'll just launch 2 more of them. If it doesn't, then oh, Convention Under King. Sorry, you asked about the AJ-10. Is it a second or a third stage engine? Well, that depends. On Vanguard, it was, and Thor, it's a second stage engine, and on Atlas, Atlas Able, it was effectively a third stage engine, and on most of its applications, basically, except on tiny rockets, it doesn't produce enough thrust to be a viable second stage engine in a 3-stage launch vehicle. Oh, and really need to do this at some point. It's already, so that's August. And when is it? It's already, all right. Yeah, we need to fish or cut bait on that one. We definitely need to do something about that. When is that thing coming done? 181 days. Ugh, do I really want to invest in more? I think I'll invest in more science. We're approaching half a science point per day. Okay. You know what? Bug is a stupid name for this. Let's call it let's call it Halo 1. We're creating a halo around the Earth. And we're also going to duplicate it just in case it fails. And if it doesn't fail, so we can launch the rest of the network. Yeah. Okay, we're almost ready for general construction. And, well, yeah, let's go ahead and deal with that. And we'll get general construction. All right, now let's go ahead and put that's 0.659, and we have plenty of delta V. So let's put our Bengal under it, which was in bug 5. Oops, I went past the B's a while ago. Okay, and let's oh, is that a 2.5 or is that a huh? Well, oh well. We'll just resize it as needed. Let's see, what is its sizing here? It's 2.094.6. Okay. Now, let's see how much we can chuck at the moon with this thing. Oops. Okay. We're going to delete all the things, and we're going to put some lead ballast in this, I think. All right. Wow, not actually. Not actually that much lead ballast. Okay. That's more like it. Let's see how much we can throw. We know we need, with that and that, oh, the staging's screwed again. All right. Okay, that makes more sense. So we want 9350 will be conservative plus 3200. Well, 3230. So just shy of 12600. And we are indeed just shy of 12600. If we were more aggressive, we could probably get away with about here. How much is that we're chucking? 1.156 tons. Now, that's intriguing. That's intriguing because we're perilously close to being able to launch a Mark I pod on a... No, sorry, scratch that. We have about half the throw weight because we also have to deal with some kind of service module and enough life support and batteries or fuel cells or something for the trip. So, all right, so scratch that. But we do have over a ton, say 1.1 tons to play with. So let's see what we can do for a sample return mission. Especially since we have service modules now. We still don't... Oh, crap, but we only have hydrazine. No, we need bipropellant. We definitely need some kind of serious bipropellant engine before we can even think about this. And we're not going to get that unless we prioritize... Right. We're going to prioritize flight control. So basically what happened was NRL for Vanguard built Vanguard second stage. And that then got reused by the Air Force as Able, for Thor Able. However, at the same time, the Air Force was trying to have developed a very high-performance second stage for Thor and later for Atlas for spy missions, for the Corona missions. And that was originally codenamed Hustler and was later named Agena. And that had a pump-fed engine. rather than pressure fed. It had very thin tanks. It had advanced avionics. It had stay in orbit capability where it could stay for like, a few weeks, maintain attitude control, all this fun stuff. 3-axis stabilization because of the camera system that was built into it, basically. And then it would, as it's beyond that for payload, it also carried these film return buckets. So that's the origin of Agena. So that was Agena A, only had like a 2-minute burn time. It was fairly light stage. Agena B, yeah, basically Agena has the XLR-81 has about double the thrust of those AJ-10s, and it doesn't require highly pressurized tanks. So it's a much more high performance stage. But it's also much more complicated, much more expensive, less reliable. You can't infinitely reignite it, all that stuff. So it's a trade-off. Yes, we need flight control. Then we'll have bipropellant RCS and, crucially, 1 kilonewton thrusters. And then I think we can easily do a sample return mission on the cheap. Could we actually? Probably. No problem. They're confusing stuff, and in terms of actual like NASA practice, NASA effectively used Agena as sort of a replacement for Able in a lot of ways. Although for fat Able on Delta, Delta still flew it because it was cheap, because they wanted as many Deltas as they could have. All right, I think we'll put off our crude lunar mission a wee little bit, and instead we'll try to get docking ports, because I'm intrigued by this possibility of a sample return mission. Even if we only get LR-79 upgrades and an LR-105 upgrade from the next node, by the time we're actually able to launch it, it's probably fine. Where's thermal? Thermal. Where's the lunar? That's Soyuz. LEO rated. Lunar rated. Alright. That's freaking expensive. Oh, that's the 10 meter. We're never going to use that. We will use this on our return mission. It's not very heavy. It's only 25 kilograms. So that's fine. And we're also going to need the 2-meter one, which is now cheap. All right. So that gives me a way forward. Let's toss that for now. Yes, we are indeed at the point where we need bipropellant small thrusters. And the way we get that is through flight control. So up you come. Wait, you're taking 82 days? I thought it was only like 60 days. Boy. That is almost 3 months. 6, that's still before August, so that's okay. Well, we'll have to rush the build again, or I could just buy more R&D, I think. $76. That did next to nothing. All right. Where's sample return? Oh, that gives a pitiful advance for what you're actually required to do. Is it really realistic to think we can do that before August? Especially because I don't trust, the more first stage engines I have, the more chance of failure I have. Man, after all that, I think I probably need to give it a pass. We can't do it at once, but we are going to want to do it before too long, because we're going to want to combine it with a film return mission, and that will require docking ports. So I'll go ahead and get it. We'll get the advance now, because I know I want to do it at some point. And I'm really tempted to get this to get the advance. I know I'm going to do it within, I have 2 years to do it. Oh, what the heck, I'll just get it. I know I'll do it within 2 years, because hydrolocks will be sufficient. I don't use international date format. The date format is always US because of an issue with Unity not reporting the system locale correctly. It's because I was talking about August because this thing has a deadline in August. Wait, Blowfish, ISO format is year, day, month? What? I thought it was year, month, day. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get this. I want the advance money. Holy crap, that's expensive. Okay, yeah, it is. It's year, month, day. That makes more sense. I was confused. So we could do something like upgrading the tracking station, which would be nice, but what the heck? Could upgrade the pad, except we don't have the money. Or we could just sink a lot of it into research. A whole lot of it. I mean, hydrolocks is going to be brutally expensive, so we probably don't want to sink everything into research, but there. That's better. That is a better research rate. Now flight control is only going to take 52 days. That's much more better. We shaved the whole month off that. All right, so, and then mature orbital rocketry will only be another 78 days. Really, hydrolocks only another 78 days. Yeah, so we just spent about $500 million on expanding our scientific clout. Probably redline it even further, but what the heck. Let's launch our, remember we're getting a bunch of, we're getting like another 300 million if we complete that comm network. So let's go ahead and try it. And this is cheap at the price, so we're going to rush it some. Flight control is now 22 days. I'm just going to rush this, actually, so it's the same as, yeah. So we can start building the next thing right when that finishes. roll it out. It'll take a day. It's fine. And oh, ye of little faith, who thought that I would not actually do this in this episode. I'm going to launch this in this episode. Convention under King, that should work fine. That 2 X405s, an AJ-10, and an Aerobee kickstage. That's broadly going to be equivalent to Vanguard with 2 first stages, basically. You should be fine. You can easily do Sun Synchronous with an RD-103 first stage and just some kick stages. So with that full setup, you should be even finer. All right. So we want to be, I think, 110. We want this to be 608. 40 is fine. I think we want this fairly low turn in because we're going to pitch up. Cross your fingers, everybody. Because here we go. Let's do 130. Make me feel a little safer. Check staging one last time. Clamps, retros and ullage, second stage, fairing sep, retros, we're going to combine these. Actually, no, we don't have to combine. Yes, we do have to combine them. Okay, then once we've used the RCS to ullage just slightly, we'll ignite the XLR81. We'll burn it twice. I will RCS like a hawk to make sure it's ullaged for the second ignition. And then we will reorient, we'll separate, we will fire the solids when we're, for an apogee kick, we'll separate and fire the solids. Oh, and these should also just be in that stage. I don't know why it separated them. Okay. This looks vaguely like Thor-Able, actually. Just a really big Thor-Able. Because this looks kind of like the rounded top of original Thor. All right. Let's get underway. What time is it? What time of day is it? 12:55 morning. Where's the sun? I guess it's stuck in the clouds. Okay. Pitch program initiates. Chicken Swag, remember that the time there is in GMT, and we're at the Cape. Okay, now we've cleared the cloud bank, and there's the sun. So yeah, mid-morning. Because we're flying east and the sun is... We should do east because we're near the solstice, aren't we? It's, yeah, 2 months shy. YouTube has started rejecting my submissions because the titles is too similar to what I've already submitted. How the heck are you supposed to have a series if it dings you for title similarity? Anyway, I'll have to change it to some temporary title and re-export it. So sorry everybody who missed the episode from yesterday. "45 seconds to first stage cutoff." Convention Under King, I tried that in my RP-0 tutorial series, having episode names, and even then, just because it had, like, the first half of the name was RP-0 tutorial campaign, that was enough to get it rejected after a while. It was very annoying. I had to rename it like ASDF and then export it and then rename it in YouTube. Ash, yeah, it's 5 hours to the Cape, and then it could only be 4 hours if the US were on daylight saving time and the UK was not on British summer time, which might be the case for this, but in 1953 I have no idea what they did. Two seconds to burnout. Burnout. Retro and ullage. Upper ignition. Well, second stage ignition. Ah, Bill, you might be absolutely right if it does a first character check. I'll have to try that. All right, we're keeping the fairings on for now because our dynamic pressure is still actually fairly high. I mean, 50 pascals is not that much, but oh, we're going so slowly that who cares? It's not even going to be that hot air. But I'll wait until we're down to about 10 before I drop. Okay, fairing SEP. We need to pitch up. We totally need to pitch up. Okay. It's entirely possible we won't quite reach geostationary height at our perigee kick, and we'll we'll do an apogee kick at apogee, and then we'll fix our perigee afterwards using remaining onboard propellant, which we'll have about 400 meters per second of, probably. No, we'll have like 600 meters per second of. Because remember, we had almost 900 meters per second in that thing, so it's fine. For Earth, Bill, you can broadly convert the surface speed in meters per second to degrees in Kelvin for the shockwave temperature. It's just a quirk of Earth's atmosphere. That'll give you your shockwave temperature. And then how much is applying is actually more like velocity cubed rather than velocity squared for dynamic pressure, but it's a better proxy than anything else we have. Because it's actually square root of rho times velocity cubed for heat transfer broadly. All right, here we go. Let's pitch down a little bit. I'm not bothering to correct my inclination on these stages because I don't have a hope of having enough delta V to do it. But because we had a fairly shallow ascent, our gravity losses have not been that obscene. Not like 1700 or something. Like on a long burning Hydrolox upper launch, you could easily hit 1800 meters per second gravity losses. All right, pitch down a bit more. Okay, prepping by turning RCS to on. "13 seconds to go on this stage. All right, we're launching into a very low parking orbit because we're going to be doing a perigee kick at the equatorial DN. So, engage the RCS, and there we go. That looks like an issue with the plume slightly, but I don't know. It's fine. Let's pitch up a good bit more, because we're going to be here for, about 2.5 minutes. Yeah, it looks like the plume needs to move back, so that's fine. Nobody's perfect. All right, we're probably going to fall past apogee slightly before we insert. All right, we're going to be just about 1.6 kilometers per second gravity losses. That's fine. I can accept that. That means we'll have plenty of delta V. Yeah, we're going to have like 300 meters per second spare, I think. And pitch up a little bit more. And the texture snap. And pitch down a little. About a kilometer per second to go, maybe 1.1. Okay, gradually pitching down to level. Okay, and we're going to get ready to shut off the engine. All right, 185 by 168, that's fine. Now, to be absolutely certain that MechJeb isn't going to mess things up, I'm going to shut that engine down so that throttling it up won't mess it up. Now, we're going to perform a perigee kick, 35,780, slightly less than what we want, at the DN. Okay. Now let's orient. I think it's down from here. Yes, it is. Okay. Are we going to have comms then? Happily, we will. Oh, no. Wait, where is this maneuver? It's right there. So we should have comms from Kano. Kano? Kano? I don't know. We should have comms. Realign. Oh, except, you know what? We need to activate it so MechJeb knows when to. All right. We're going to save. Then we're going to execute the next maneuver. Okay. Oh, shoot. Let's try this again. Okay, we've made it very stable. We're going to pulse our RCS until MechJeb lights the burn off to make sure that we are stable at ignition, because we can't afford to waste this ignition. There we go. We're good. Bill, that is a neat technique, and I'll try to remember that. He suggests reading all foreign words with short vowels because diphthongs are usually written out. So pretty. The Earth is so pretty. Phineas Freak did an awesome job improving on the awesome work that Pingo Pete did in terms of RVE. It's just so pretty. It's ridiculously pretty. And it makes you feel like you're in space far more than like anything else that RO does. I just remember the first time I played with RVE, and I felt like I was actually going to space in a way that I didn't with Real Solar System, just with its base textures and no clouds and none of the stuff. All right, so we have plenty of spare delta V in this stage, that's for sure. All right, so we burned slightly over, but that's fine. We can always fix things later. So now we get to orient for change perigee to 35,786 at the next apogee. And we also want to change inclination at the equatorial AN to 0. And that gives us minus 375. All right, so remove all nodes. I wish the maneuver editor had a way to delete a single node. I don't know how. No, we want change periapsis. 35,786. All right, minus 375, I said. So that's 105. That should give us 1840. That's about what I expected for apogee kick. That'll give us a pretty good orbit. So let's go ahead and orient. RO should not have MechJeb unlocks. If it does, please let me know because we need to fix that. Maybe RP-0 should. I don't know. Thus far, I've intended it not to. Simply on the idea that certainly for maneuver planning, you should never have to unlock maneuver planning. Now, maybe like landing guidance, you might have to unlock, but it doesn't seem to work that well anyway. So. Yeah, no, I know you meant RP-0. I said RO doesn't because you said RO doesn't, and then I was saying maybe we should, and I said RP-0 because that's what would do it. All right, let's align right on the node. And we've lost, of course we've lost signal. Now we have signal again. Okay. Let's lock right on. Now, let's hope we don't hit any collider bugs on spin up and decouple. How much juice do we have in this thing? A lot of juice. Do we have 5.5 hours of juice? No, 5.25 hours of juice in this thing. What's our drain rate? 130 watts. No, because it would be 180 watts. And 180 watts times, I said 5.25 times 3600 is double the electric charge we have in that avionics unit. So no. All right, so we're going to spin up. And I think that's good. All right, and why is this? That was weird. What is it doing? That's super weird. But okay. Why did we lose our spin? That's a persistent rotation bug. Oh, because SAS was on. Right. No, that should not have. Well, all right. Hopefully we don't have any failures, because we've lost our spin now. Also the fact that our solar panels are not actually getting, but we have plenty of batteries. Right, I had SAS on when I decoupled. So when I warped, it froze the rotation despite us not having anything we can do. Blowfish, I agree. It would be awesome if you could have fuzziness in the calculations. I think AngsCon, aka XShadowX, was thinking about doing that at one point. All right, so we have nothing better to do, so let's just go ahead and warp to the maneuver. Whoops! What just happened? Oh, now great. Now we're not quite pointing at the maneuver. Warp to next maneuver. All right, we have comms. We have a delay of 0.1 seconds. It's not, Bill, it's not a PR bug because PR stops your rotation. Oh, yeah. No, you're right. It is a PR bug because PR is not supposed to stop your rotation if your rotation is above a certain magnitude, even if you have SAS on. But it did that time, despite us spinning at like 20 plus RPM. So yeah, it might be that it was only checking pitch and yaw, not. Oh yeah, it's probably checking the vector orientation. It's probably just doing something like that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. We're gonna be okay. So we want to light up about 8 seconds before apogee. Well, before maneuver, which is approximately apogee. Wait, why are the equatorial AN and DN wrong? Unless we've already passed it. Oh, we must have already passed it. Oh, whoops. Time to fire up. Close enough. Yeah, I waited too long to do that. Shoot. Oh well. It is what it is. Let's kill our vertical speed. How did we warp past apogee? Confusing. Well, we're still complete the contract easily. Oh yeah, also I need to turn off all this, because otherwise they will try to do that, and they really shouldn't. Oops, let's go back to tracking this puppy. Yeah, so we'll just have to do a couple maneuvers to fix this. But we have plenty of... Oh, we also need to roll such that these get full solar exposure. All right. Whoops, a little too far. That's good. Inclination coming down. Oops. I think we can burn level now. And we want 35,786. Oops, a little too much. Well, close enough. What we actually care about is the period. Oh, geez, and I also made our inclination worse. That's not awesome. So we better fix our inclination. Change inclination. The nearest. 11 meters per second. I think we can hack it. Why are we rotating off like this? Good enough. Oh, did we complete? Oh, all right. I guess we completed the contract to the contract satisfaction. Didn't even notice that. Despite 0.2 degrees of inclination and not quite bang on there. But we'll spend a little extra time to fix it. Because I don't want the satellite to move. Warp to next maneuver. So actually, I think we're fairly perfectly placed. Oh, we still have tons of hydrazine. Oops. Let's get fairly close because this is going to be a quick burn. That's... Nope, still too early. That's correct. Okay. All right. That's as close to zero inclination as I think I plan to get. Time to apogee is another 3 hours. Let's circularize at a given altitude of 35,780. I think it's 3 now. Why are we not? Oh, that's why. Because we were still on node. So that's in 3 hours. Oh, you're right. RCS does throttle. I could have... Right, because we're doing that actuation through throttle. I think we could get away with throttling. Okay. Warp to next maneuver. And get real close. Yeah, it throttles. Nice. What it's actually doing, it's not throttling, it's just pulsing. All right. Our period is a little under a minute shy, so we're gonna 37, nothing on these. All right, let's orient sunward. And the issue is roll. There, now they should be about peak. Yep. Okay. Now let's fix our period. (56) 4.1 is what we want. I'm willing to accept 4.08 rather than 4.1. So this mission is done. We have our first comm satellite. Worked like a charm. So with that happy conclusion, with no failures, may I point out, despite that being the first test of that XLR-81, I'm going to call it quits. Oh, I used CAX warp to maneuver. That's why it... Okay. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm going to go ahead and start 18. And we'll see you in episode 18. So, Blowfish, what's special about that period is that that is the sidereal rotation period of Earth. And that's what makes it geostationary. The altitudes don't actually matter. The reason that altitude matters is because that's the altitude to use for your perigee and apogee to give you that period. Oh, sync. I need to sync. Thank you. I forgot to sync. We didn't actually complete any firsts, but I have advanced in days. And we can go ahead and... Yeah, we'll launch Halo 2, which I will try to remember to do the SAS stuff. And yeah. Oh, let me go ahead and fix this. So I want to fix the staging on the halos and rename it from Bug 5 to Halo 1. Blowfish, yeah. So you can have an eccentric orbit, you can have an inclined orbit, you can do whatever you like, but as long as you're 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4.096 seconds, you're going to be in sync with the sidereal rotation period. So, what were we fixing here? Right, we were putting this in here, and we were putting these here. I mean, technically we could activate them earlier, but that's kind of cheating because of the avionics issues. I wonder. No, it worked fine. Not going to mess with success. All right. So there we are. All done. Thank you everybody for watching. I will see you again next time.